from the far horizons of the unknown time and space. These are stories of the future, the death of the future, and the future of death. We present, for your consideration, Future Macabre Radio.
There's this thing about last jobs. They never end up being just as simple as you think, and they never end up being the last job. Folks call me Mr. Inbetween, and here's the story of one of those last jobs. My employer, Vincent Sconce, launders money and sells drugs. He was trying to pivot a legitimate business, so he began brokering art pieces. It's a ridiculous endeavour. But we go way back. I fix things for him. One of his artists worked on Vebulon Free. Apparently this artist had a little trouble. The public was fascinated with her art. Collectors were paying fortunes for it. But a journalist was on her way round to meet the artist, take pictures of her working in her studio, get the inside scoop on how it's made. I asked her on the sub-ether phone, why is that a problem?
The thing is, okay, look, you can't tell anybody, all right? I don't actually construct the pieces, the art. Get here quick and we can get to work. I need some processed pieces, some sketches. I need to quickly make a warehouse with some samples of my work half done. I need a semblance of authenticity, something that looks plausible, you know? Can you help me? It has to stand up to scrutiny. I've got a one-man show coming up. The appraisers, my agent, we can't let them know where I get the sculptures from.
Where do they come from?
I procure them as they are fully formed from a cave on Clandestina 4. Sometimes I need a little bit of explosives to wrench them free from the ground. Then I have my robots sand them, smooth them, and I sell them to collectors.
So you ain't an artist, you're a thief.
I am an artist. I am the one who brings these pieces to the market. But yeah, I don't really want the people who've bought my pieces to know I don't sculpt them. That would take the value. They need to believe I make them. That's what you're coming here for, right?
Something like that.
Could you get here as soon as possible? Something happened earlier today that increased the urgency of the situation. I'll just leave it at that.
My shipboard computer says I'll arrive in 2 hours. Hold tight till then. I landed my one-man Vlenter shuttle outside a puke green warehouse on the third planet orbiting Vebulon. There was a little turbulence on my descent. I'm sure it was just a little rough patch, and the rest of my day would go smooth as silk. Looked pretty unassuming. You wouldn't guess this is where some of the most highly sought-after sculptures of the last couple of years were made. And turns out it isn't. She showed me around her empty studio. There wasn't much to look at. Just a few coloured pieces on a table, a trash can, some empty wine boxes, and a tarp on the floor. I can see why you ain't an interior decorator.
Let's just get started. Come on.
Walked over to the tarp. Under the tarp was something lumpy. What's this?
That's something I hope you'll fix for me.
That's a dead body.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
I thought I was helping you fake an art studio. But now, this mess?
She was snooping around. She would have exposed me. I didn't mean to kill her, but it's convenient that she died. Just not so convenient for my art career if I'm imprisoned and I can't make excursions to Clandestine anymore or meet clients to sell them pieces.
What if the other inmates expect you to give them tattoos?
I can't draw a stick figure.
I doubt the inmates in the Kengelian prisons are up to date on the subtleties of the fine art world. You'll be just another person in there who thought the rules didn't apply to them. First things first, the art objects. We need to make more of them, right? Fake some process evidence that you actually made them. Let's get my UCM started on that. Then we'll clean up this mess. I've got some sodium hypochlorite in me ship. That should clean up any blood spilled. Who knows she came here? Did she arrive with a ship?
I don't know.
If so, I can fake a collision.
This interview was supposed to be exposure before my one-man show at the Hendricks Gallery on Clona 4. Sara Flana might be there. And influencers from the Gengar system.
I went back to my ship, got some cleaning supplies and brought my universal construction machine. It's a grey box on wheels that can make reasonable facsimiles of most matter. I have an older model, doesn't have all the bells and whistles. Fixed a lot of problems over the years, but never made art before. When I got back to the warehouse, Sonica was crying and pulling at her hair.
On the cover of a magazine before, but this was going to be Wandering Comet, which usually focuses on music. You know, they only do an art story here and there, and almost never a cover.
Quit pacing. You're making me nervous. Here, get on your hands and knees and scrub.
Do you have a robot that can do that?
Robot's memory can be hacked and exposed. Evidence tampering has to be done by hand. Where is the piece you want me to make copies of?
Over there on the pedestal.
So this is what passes for modern art these days. Look like colourful chrome bubbles, metallic rainbow snot, frozen mid-drip out a monster's nose. I could see myself reflecting in pink and teal on the dichroic sheen surface. Didn't seem so special to me. Looks like one could achieve this by just applying a coat of anodised titanium over a chunk of plaster. I pulled out me spectrometer, just curious, aimed it at the sculpture and it scanned. The device chirped, ran its analysis and spat out a surprising reading. Hey, my little gadget just told me what your sculpture's really made of. Do you know?
Well, no. I've always wondered, but I'm not a geologist.
Calcium phosphate, phyllosilicate. Do you know what that is? Coprolite. You're selling ancient alien fecal matter to millionaires. I'm sure you'd like to keep that a secret, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I guess I would. So, the bloodstains are supposed to disappear if I scrub hard enough?
Put some elbow grease into it.
This stain is really stubborn. Can you help?
I walked over to my UCM and pushed some buttons on the control panel. It started to communicate with the spectrometer and began to print another crystal poop art object on the floor. Layer by layer, its filament transformed into calcium phosphate by a process I don't fully understand. It was just a few millimetres tall so far, but looked like a good start to me.
Oh no. I'm getting a call. I have to take this. You've reached Sonica.
Sonica, I hope I'm not catching you at a bad time.
Oh, Hendricks. Great to hear from you, babe. Thanks for calling. Not a bad time at all.
How did the interview go?
The interview? Well, funny thing is, she never showed up.
Oh, no. I hope she's all right. See, I got a call from her family. She has a device that sends a message if she hasn't taken her medicine, and it's sending an unusual error message. Her last known location was on the way to Zebulon. Are you sure you didn't see anybody?
I do have a visitor right now, actually, a cute old man. He's an old friend of my father's checking in on me. Say hi.
Hi, I'm an old friend of her father's.
Don't be surprised if some police come looking for her. She's the daughter of someone pretty important.
Oh, I'd rather they didn't interrupt me. I'm trying to get in the zone. I'm putting the finishing touches on. Buffing surfaces.
And we're all dying to see the new pieces. She's probably just held up. You know how influencers are. I'm sure she'll arrive later today, tomorrow at the latest. I had a bite from a stock trader on Gallimish. Serious money. He's looking for a large statement piece for his office lobby. Something that screams, I have more wealth than God, the moment you walk in. You know the type. He might even make an appearance at the show. Wouldn't that be something?
That's great! Any other buzz?
At the opening for her new movie, Xenamine Gasplat was wearing one of your pieces around her neck. Thousands of photos were taken of it and broadcast everywhere. People on Glitter are asking about where she got it.
Oh, that small thing. I can make more.
That's what we were all hoping for. Oh, one little change in our agreement I wanted to run by you. Regarding the 40% commission on these pieces, I think I have to nudge it just a little. Is it all right if it's 45% on this show? The Kangelians have raised tariffs recently, and it's a struggle for an independent small business like mine to stay open.
That's okay, as long as you handle the paperwork for me, and it's in cash.
I'm glad we can agree. Let me know how it goes with Shoonoo, and if you feel like it, send some photos of your process. We are all so curious.
You know I won't be doing that. The process is secret. Thanks, babe. Bye. Did you hear that? The police are coming.
I heard. I faked a spaceship crash or two before. The thing is, I can't use my onboard scanner to look for a ship. Its history could be searched. I have to go outside and find it myself. I brought the journalist's body behind me on the grey desert surface. Had to get it away from the studio. Checked inside her pocket. Keys. They had a beeper on them. Her ship is just over there on that ridge. She had a phone. Designer brand. Decorated sparkly. I checked to see if it had captured any recent videos. Face recognition tech. Fortunately, I have her face right here. I watched the video while I dragged the body toward her ship.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for checking in on my blog. It's been fun to pivot to the art world from music, and I'm so glad so many of you support me in this transition. And thanks for all the concerned messages criticizing me for wasting rocket fuel to report on art. You're absolutely right. I hear you, and I'll be donating a portion of my streaming revenue to support clean fuel research and support treatment for Galnar miners who have developed shadow lung syndrome. I am so excited right now. I'm on my way to Zebulon, to Sonica Ngora's studio. You know her work, right? Those frozen blobs of polychromatic marbled ephemera? Absolutely mesmerizing. They remind me of Fugacious Pink's aesthetic, or what Glamorama promenade dancers wear, but more vibrant. Movie stars wear little pieces around their necks on red carpets. That's the level she's operating at. So, I'm writing for Wandering Comet again. I know. I swore I was done with them, but they offered me a cover story. After my Cosmic Drift piece absolutely crushed it last quarter. And here's the best part. They're letting me publish an extended version of my own blog simultaneously. My supporters get exclusive behind-the-scenes photos and content that won't appear in the magazine. I'm arriving 2 days early because I want to do some preliminary observation before I knock on her door and do the official interview. A little clandestine surveillance. Risky? Absolutely. But I need to capture her in her creative process. I have to see how she actually does it. Artists have been gatekeepers for too long. The people deserve to know how the sausage gets made. And honestly, I think once we see her process, it'll only add to the mystique. Next thing I upload will hopefully be footage of her working. Maybe I can sneak into her warehouse and get some of it on video. Wish me luck!
Looks like she didn't upload this to Glitter yet. This video will be obliterated along with her phone and her ship. I just have to program it to hit the surface at the sufficient velocity to destroy everything on board. Crashes still happen sometimes, even with all our safety protocols. Her spaceship door opened for me, and I put her down in the pilot's seat, propped her up and buckled her in. Tattoos on her face. I guess she was about 26. Hard to tell with kids these days. Her head flopped forward. Seems like it was quick at least. Usually, cops won't dig too deep into a mystery. I know how lazy they are. I used to be one. I opened up the hood. I had to find something that could be damaged that could lead to engine failure. The wreckage might be searched and analysed. All these familiar components I used to know like the back of me hand, back when I fixed shuttles. Small Terrion model, civilian grade. The kind of ship that is reliable and foolproof. I'd recommend them to old ladies. There was an old book called Zen and the Art of Shuttle Maintenance. For some reason, people always said it got rejected by 100 publishers before becoming a hit. Why do they repeat that story? Supposed to be inspiring to artists not to give up, I guess. There's the coolant injector valve. I worked it loose, quarter turn by quarter turn, then pulled my pocket torch from me belt. The blue flame kissed the fuel decoupler, and I watched the enamel coating blister and fade. The sensor would have failed gradually, with no warning lights, just a catastrophic malfunction at altitude. If there was anything left, the investigators would find a mechanical failure. Tragic accident. The kind that happen all the time out here, unfortunately. I clicked off the torch. My reflection stared back at me from the polished manifold. It distorted my chin in a weird way. I shifted down an inch, so the distortion was warping my eyes instead, and chuckled at the circus mirror effect. I climbed into my bird and strapped in. The tractor rig could handle the journalist shuttle easy. Just needed it to get up in the atmosphere. Then give a little push toward terminal velocity. Let gravity do the rest. I booted her up. The console lights flickered. I gave it a slap. I punched the manoeuvring thrusters and brought her around, nice and smooth. Toggled the tractor array, felt that familiar magnetic hum as the beam locked into the shuttle's hull. I goosed the main engines and climbed, dragging the shuttle behind me like a tin can on a string. Not much traffic out here. Probably no major airport on the planet that needs to watch all the coming and goings. Fortunate for us. 40,000 metres. 50. The altimeter kept climbing as we pushed into the thin air where the sky goes black. All it takes is a little nudge. How's that bloodstain coming along?
Oh, that. I give up. Look at the pearlescent swirl. Its incandescence is too dull. The blobs aren't blobby enough. We have to randomize the parameters more. Nothing we do is going to work. It doesn't look like one of my pieces.
You mean like one of the pieces you steal?
Steal? If you can steal from a cave in the ground, the pieces are just a natural phenomenon. They don't belong to anybody.
I can see what you mean. The patina is less shiny. It's not as opalescent. What's the deal? Why don't it work?
Could a piece of the original be a seed for a new one?
Can't hurt to try. I chipped off a fist-sized piece of the art and put it into the UCM feeder. Programmed it to make more of what I put in. The machine flashed and stuttered. It seemed to grunt. The extruder spluttered out a stringy black tar. It seems this thing is going to need maintenance.
This isn't working. The show is supposed to open in 2 days. Let's just go back to Clandestina and get some more.
We have to clean up the blood first. I'll see you give up rather fast.
Well, it was hard work. I'm not used to working on my hands and knees like that. It hurt my back.
Can I look around for any tools?
I don't have much. Feel free.
What's behind that door?
My bedroom. A little kitchenette.
I came out of her bedroom with a purple silicon erotic stimulator.
That's my private stuff. What do you need that for?
Does it vibrate?
Yes, of course. With 16 different patterns.
Then I can tape a scouring pad to it and we can get the blood stain off the floor.
Okay. Yeah, that might work.
The vibrator gave a decent imitation of an electric sander and the blood came off. I vacuumed up the dust with a tool from me belt, spread some bleach on the area and applied my torch to burn away anything that might be left. OK, her spaceship is crashed. The floor is clean. Can I pour a drink now?
We have to go to Clandestina and get more pieces. We'll go faster with 2. Come on.
She turned off the lights and locked up. We walked to her ship and I got a better look at it. I walked around the thing, shaking my head. She flew one of those flashy sport models. Glitter paint job. Chrome trim. More show than go. What the hell were those wing attachments even for? And that ridiculous spoiler on the aft section. Thing's got less cargo capacity than a courier pod. All that weight wasted on cosmetic garbage. Typical rich kid toy. Ostentatious and completely impractical. Why do you have all these accoutrements on it?
Because it looks expensive, and I have to drive something expensive to impress my clients.
Let's take mine. I've got more space, and if we get pulled over, I won't be embarrassed. So, what's the location of this planet? What did you call it? Clandestinians?
Clandestina. It's in the outer rim, beyond the Aglax system. Half a day's journey if your ship can get to Warp 4.
Just give me the coordinates. The ship's computer can find the best route.
I'll send it with my phone. There are noctilucent clouds of silica in the atmosphere. Can your shields handle a little roughage?
This ship has taken me all over the galaxy. It hasn't let me down yet.
So, tell me about yourself. How did you get into this line of work?
The less you know about me, the better.
Wouldn't you rather talk to pass the time than just sit in silence? What did you do before working for Vincent?
I was once a cop. I've been a cook, a janitor, a mechanic. Used to be you had to make things or repair things to make a living. Let's just put the thing on autopilot and I'll take a nap. before I was in Vincent's office on Flana. He gets excited sometimes, and he needs to be nudged to get to the point.
So good to see you again, friend. So, can I pour you a drink?
No need to waste the good stuff on me. I can't taste the difference.
How do you feel about art?
Some of it's all right, I guess. I don't have much use for it myself.
Do you notice I've got some pieces in here? What do you think of them?
He had a large canvas painting, black and splotchy with white triangles. Some blurry, some sharp. Looked ugly as sin to me, but I nodded and smiled.
That's a Balanu, and that painting behind you is by the Devonian Cladonor. The blue circles represent synapses, and the diatom shapes represent our fragmented memories.
The way you said their names implies they're very famous among certain circles.
What kind of art do you like?
Oh, I don't know. Stuff like pictures of a guy fishing in a lake. You know, to represent the beauty and solitude of a guy fishing at a lake.
I've made a decent income moving party drugs. Ghost tears, shingling truffles, the premium stuff. But money alone doesn't open doors in Trestleflaria. I've schmoozed, I've networked, I've bought rounds at every high-end lounge, from here to the merchant district, and I'm still not getting invitations to the parties that matter. Look at this office. It's a closet. You climb high enough in the Trestleflarian society, and suddenly you're on the Kangelian authorities' radar. Tax audits, financial inquiries, very inconvenient questions about why my returns look like a mining baron's when I'm supposedly running an import-export business. So I've pivoted. Art dealing. Completely legitimate. And the margins? Astronomical. The art market is unregulated in Flana, so the galaxy's wealthiest individuals come here to avoid paying taxes. You get the right appraiser in your pocket, and a painting that cost you 50,000 credits last year sells for 2 million today. Clean money, culture credentials, and an excuse to attend openings where the real players congregate. It's not about the look of the art, it's about who sees you holding it.
Sounds like you got it all figured out. What do you need me for?
There's a tastemaker on Flana, Hendricks, the kind of rich where her maids have their own sports cars. She is the most important gallery owner in the scene. She has always been too busy to have a glass of wine with me, but her space in the arts district is where reputations get made. I found an exciting new artist on the rise, Sonica Ngora. Young, hungry, raw talent. But she may be a little dangerous. Needs reining in. I've secured her an exclusive showing at Hendricks' place. Now, here's the thing about emerging artists. Their work can fetch an absolutely obscene numbers if the story sells. So here's what you're going to do. Go to Ngora's studio. Clean it up. Make it look like a tortured genius works there. Stage it for her interview with the art press and bring some samples to Hendricks' gallery. Whatever she's got lying around that looks halfway decent. I dropped off a small fortune as a donation to the Heliotic Arts Council. Tax write-off. Bought myself a seat on their board. And now I'm positioned to be the exclusive dealer for Ngora's new collection.
This is so far out of my wheelhouse. Is there something you're not telling me?
You'll do great. You always manage to get out of scrapes.
Can't we just stick to drugs? Drugs have been good for you, reliable.
No, the Kangelians are ramping up their efforts to ban E, and the dealers are getting stiff sentences. It's going to be art from now on. Now, hop to it. Take some of these with you.
He handed me an envelope with some blank pieces of paper. What's this?
That is a very useful tool for forging art documentation. They are called chameleon forms. Need a passport A warrant? Diplomatic immunity? They are often more useful than a blaster in getting out of trouble. If you get harassed by authorities bringing her pieces to Flana, just show these to the Kangelian customs officers. They will transform into whatever it is you need.
I think I'll still hold on to my blaster, just in case. With 16 new pearlescent rock blobs loaded into her ship, we began the journey for the art show. The stars flew by like white streaks. Sonica was fixing her hair and talking to herself, practicing what she should say to questions like, "What does it mean?"
I appreciate what you've done for me, Mr. Inbetween. I'm glad we ended up working together.
It surprised me when you were swinging a pickaxe and loading these structures into a wheelbarrow. I didn't take you for an hard worker.
Would I have made it this far if I wasn't tough? You were a pretty good shot back there, too. I swear, if I knew those creatures were around, I would have warned you. They must have been hibernating when I was there before.
The tree is pretty impressive. I wonder how it grew underground without sunlight.
When I saw it, I just knew it had to be the centerpiece of my big show. I'm going to put it on a pillar in the middle of the room. It seems like it's pulsating. Like inside it, there's smoldering embers or blood flow. I don't get it, but I love it.
It's certainly unusual. I hope it drums up interest and you sell the whole lot. She'd been changing in the back. I swiveled the captain's chair around to see her posed in the doorway, looking absolutely ridiculous, with mismatched flared leggings and a top that clashed with everything. She stared at me with heterochromic contacts, and the curls on her frizzy hairdo bounced. You look like 1,000,000 credits, kid.
Huh, I was aiming for more. How come you're so uptight? So, you ever do essence, Mr. Inbetween? Might mellow you out.
She plopped down in the passenger seat and started to file her nails. There was a long silence between us. I don't mind silence. She seemed nervous, engaging in small talk. Is that your first? I mean, the first person you killed?
Oh, a lady never chills.
What did you do before you were an art fraud?
A little bit of everything. I've been a nanny, a nurse, a dancer. Sometimes the millionaires who want to buy my work also want to sleep with me. And sometimes I let them.
Prostitution with a souvenir.
Oh, it's more spiritual than that. I take care of my patrons. We meditate, we take essence, we dance. I invite the spirit of cosmos into their soul. They witness the cosmic dance of eternity, and I leave with a big check. It's exhausting trying to be different species' idea of a dream girl. The research, the trial and error, I'm qualified to be an actress by now. But that's not where the money's at.
E is dangerous stuff. You should just pretend to take it.
Sure, old man. Nice of you to care. Is it true it comes from across the cosmos?
Intidia 9 is very far away.
Do you know why people call it ghost tears?
E is a liquid that passes through the hard drives that store the data for Intidian Ascended. They're a fascinating species. Horrendous conversationalists, though. They live entirely in an electronic matrix. Their hard drives require coolant, and these drives leak a concentrated suspension that has passed through the consciousnesses of Intidians, taking on their memories, their trauma. It's toxic, but most carbon-based life forms in the galaxy with a spine will have a psychotropic reaction if they ingest a drop.
Ascended? You mean they're like the continued consciousness of the people who live there?
Yes.
So you're telling me the strongest, most valuable drug in the galaxy is essentially ghost piss?
It's a coolant system, so it would be more appropriate to call it ghost sweat.
No wonder it goes great with my art! What makes it so expensive?
The Intidians don't want to give it away. It has to be stolen. I employ a garbage man. He takes waste off planet. He has a contact there who has a contact there who gets discarded immersion cooling radiators. Sometimes we manage to, shall we say, hurry along their lifespan a little by feeding them too much voltage. I scrape it off and put it in bottles. Sometimes contacts die and we have to start over.
So you're telling me every time I did E in the last 10 years, it's passed through your hands? Small galaxy. Sounds complicated.
It was, but it's a hell of a lot simpler than the art market so far. We have the ship on auto, and I thought I could finally relax when I got a vibrating notification on me belt. Vince was calling.
You're going to be needed another day. You're going to be there at Ngora's art opening.
I don't have anything to wear.
I'm sure you don't, but we have to be sure it goes off without a hitch. I've got a lot riding on this deal. Things tend to not go wrong when you're around.
If people like the pieces, they will sell. If they don't like them, they won't. I'm no good at drumming up interest in blobs of colourful stone boogers.
If no one else is bidding on them, I want you to make a large offer. Of course, I'll transfer the credits to you. I can't be bidding on her work. It would look tacky to the rest of the board. We've got those chameleon documents, right?
Of course.
They might come in handy.
It's a delight to have the artist here tonight, and she's generously offered to donate a portion to rehoming Flanifrian cubs on Slenifar 8. So if you invest tonight, your money will be helping a good cause. Before we begin, we need to acknowledge that one of my protégés is missing. Shoonoo Gasplat, an up-and-coming young journalist, has disappeared. She was going to report on this very art show tonight. Keep her and her family in your thoughts, please. She was a big fan of Ngora's and a real force of nature. But enough gloom and doom. Bidding will start in 20 minutes. Please, take in the work.
Oh, wouldn't this look lovely over our mantle, darling?
The pieces represent a profound interrogation of corporeal liminality through the language of hyperreflective materiality. The artist has deployed dichrotic surfacing and brought out the chromatization of the anodized surface, not merely as a medium, but as methodology, questioning who we are as observer. The pink-tail chromatic oscillation creates what scholars are calling a temporal dermis.
Oh wow, look at the composition on this. It's breathtaking. The colors, the shapes.
Hey, look at this one. Oh, whoa. Look at this one.
The surface reads differently, depending on the viewer's position in space, effectively democratizing the artwork's ontology, while simultaneously reinforcing the late capitalist fetishization of the mutable object. This tension between craftsmanship and chaos ascends this piece beyond collectability into post-biological urgency. What makes this so coveted among serious collectors is its inherent refusal to be categorized. Every angle offers a new phenomenological encounter.
Yes, dear, I see it. The temporal dermis.
It's just fossilized poop.
What was that you said?
Oh, just commenting on the artist's effective use of negative space.
Her work is just fascinating, isn't it? So ethereal. I wish I could just climb in and swim around.
Wow. I think that one made me feel something.
I was bored as hell, but it seemed to be going decently. Rich folks look at me, enjoying it, or pretending to. Sonica was busy. Hendricks was introducing her to people.
Yeah. Well, it just means whatever you want it to mean. You know, maybe you see yourself in it transformed. Maybe that's like the real you, looking out.
But how do you make them?
That's a secret. They do turn out neat, huh? Spiffy. Each one unique.
I looked at my watch. How much later was this going to go? I considered going back to my bird to take a nap, when suddenly there was a commotion outside the gallery. Some people were arguing, and I heard a blaster go off. I reached for me pistol and backed up against the wall. Someone screamed as they saw 4 figures walk in the gallery, each with guns drawn.
Everybody get down on the floor. We don't want to hurt anyone, but we will if we have to.
Please put your weapons away. There's no need for that. All the pieces are for sale. You can make a bid like anyone else.
They're in here. They've made our sacred objects into commodities. One of them in this room might be the looter. Scan them all for traces of elements from our home.
What are you doing here with gifts from the great beasts? You should all be ashamed of yourselves. This one has a gift dangling from her neck.
Remove it. Bring it over here.
One of them grabbed Hendricks' necklace, and a few beads fell to the floor. Brought a slight smile to my lips to see her taken down a peg.
These gifts are sacred. Oh, it is heresy to remove them from the caverns, and anathema to wear them on your body. We need to bring all of them back to our planet, or the spirits will enact retribution.
The one wearing a robe has a fanaticism to his voice that I'd seen before. Religion can make people do some pretty wild things. Hey, next time you steal sacred objects from a culture, choose one that hasn't developed space travel.
Thanks for the hot tip. I've been rolling since the guests started to arrive, and this is overwhelming, to say the least.
There isn't time to return home. The Transcendence Protocol must be enacted here, in this room.
He pointed his gun at us and took off his hood. His clumsy stance and his arm's vibration communicated to me how nervous he was. Probably never shot one of those before. He might not know how to turn the safety off. I was thinking about jumping him, trying to find the right moment.
Get over here and take your place in the ring.
I haven't scanned everyone yet. The thief could still be here.
So what if they are? The ritual has to begin now.
What is happening? Sonica, do you know these people?
You're right. Even though it will be observed by all these non-believers, it must happen now. None of you disturb us during the ritual.
The guests backed up against the wall were panicking and clutching their purses. The cultists gathered all of the pieces we had stolen and put them in the centre of the room by the glowing tree. The pieces began to lock together, as if they were assembling a puzzle, and with each added piece they started to glow brighter. Then the Clandestinians formed a circle around the assemblage and began chanting. Beams of bright green energy shot out from the pearlescent forms aimed at their brains. As they danced and their voices raised up to a sonorous chant, the tree, which had been shriveled and small, burst glowing branches, leaves and roots, spreading out as smoothly and rapidly as water flows. Then these coiling branches followed the beams and touched the cultists' mind, penetrated their foreheads and lifted them off the ground. The whole lot of them become a unified amalgam of flesh and plant, shimmering energy waves pulsating in and out of them into the coprolite samples and back again. Then, as it all built up to a crescendo, with an energy pulse, the Clandestinians burst into sparkling particles, and all the colour in the art pieces faded away with them. They crumbled to the ground as grey dust. The place was silent. Some of the patrons began to stand up. They stopped sniffling and seemed to be checking that they hadn't dropped their belongings in the commotion. It occurred to me maybe I should be the one to speak first. That was incredible, Sonica. Thanks for a scintillating experience. The pieces were out of my price range, but then that turned out not to matter. You put on a good show, I'll give you that.
I didn't.
What in the outer rim was that?
What just happened? The pieces, they're gone.
And isn't that a profound comment on the temporality of all things beautiful in this galaxy? Did you actually fear for your life when the actors came in?
What are you talking about?
The actors were so convincing. I thought it was real at first. Some of you looked like you peed your pants.
Oh, yes. Right. The actors. Their costumes and makeup was impressive.
Those were actors? The men who dissolved into light?
Here's the documentation. It was all approved by the Heliotic Galactic Arts Council. An outrageous prank. It was funded by your tax dollars, and people complain that the arts are a waste of money. If you ask me, this is why we're here, to surprise people. I pulled the documents out of me coat and placed them on a table among the hors d'oeuvres and wine.
Yes, we knew about it all along. I was only pretending to be scared, to help with the illusion. Smoke and mirrors. The board of the Arts Council informed me of this ahead of time.
The confused art patrons shuffled out of the gallery to their individual spaceships.
Huh, that was weird.
Some of them were literally scratching their heads as they got in and flew away. On the way out, I picked up some of the grey sand and let it drop to the ground.
Performance art is so last year, and I can't make a commission on a happening. Very unprofessional of you to surprise me like this. Don't expect to get a gallery show on this planet again.
That was a lucky break. How can I contact you again if I need your help?
I'd prefer it if you don't. I've had enough of your shenanigans. It seems you got away with it, kid. I wouldn't push me luck if I were you. What a phenomenal waste of time. I walked out the door and got in me ship. I took off me shoes and set coordinates to my favourite watering hole, where I could get a stiff drink. I'll have to tell Mr. Sconce he should stick to old-fashioned drug dealing. If I ever do another last job again.
That was Zen and the Art of Money Laundering. Copyright Isaac Paris 2026. The 11th episode of Future Macabre Radio and the 3rd in its 2nd season. Thank you for your support. Featuring Mike Porter as Mr. Inbetween, Angela Lewis as Sonica Ngora, Nancy O'Fallon as Hendricks, Jeff Farmer as Vincent Sconce, Kelsey Gillespie returned as Shoonoo Gasplat, with Ashley Paris, Yeehaw Being, and Ericka Johnson as voices at the art studio, and Isaac Paris, me, and Andrew Paris as the Clandestinians and the Robed One.